When I start coaching someone how to get this story out into the world, I often hear this thing of, hmm, I don't think it's important. Nobody want to hear it. This has just happened to me. I don't think that is needed to be out there. Let's just address the issues that has to do not only with book writing, but anything that you do expressive. Maybe you want to take pictures. Maybe you want to paint paintings. Maybe you want to speak. Maybe you want to just put soul clothes on. Maybe you want to live the way you want to live. Maybe you want to express yourself and talk the way you want to talk. You see where this is all going? It's all going to the same thing. You're afraid to be yourself. Why? Because number one, you're afraid that people will misunderstand you. You're afraid that you will hurt other people, especially if you're going to talk about your story. You may be even afraid that who are you? Because only the people who achieved great things in their life, then they can write books and they can express themselves. But you know what is number one thing that we are afraid to show ourselves? Fear of abandonment. Yeah, and this is like we're going into the stress management territory over here. Because when we grow up in the environment that we've been told that we need to be nice, we need to follow the rules, we are afraid to make our parents or the environment that you lived in to punish us, to leave us, to abandon us. Because as children, we know we will not survive. This is like pure human nature, okay? This is not nothing new. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't want to, you're not my therapist. No, I'm not. But here's the deal. If you are struggling with publishing your books or getting your voice out or talking on podcasts or getting yourself on TV or teaching people and getting monetized, that's probably your number one thing because you are afraid. You're afraid of being abandoned. Okay, now this out of the table. Good. If you want to know how much of your childhood impacted you and how much of your inner critic is holding you back from getting yourself out there, just start listening to yourself every single day. And also, you probably would not be listening to this video right now if you already had a book and you had no problems speaking out and you are a well-known speaker and making thousands of dollars, okay? You don't need me. You need to have some empathy towards yourself and empathy to those that you grow up. The one thing that we need to know is when we acknowledge what we do that has to do with our past, that's the number one step. Acknowledge that there's something that you are doing right now doesn't work for you. Okay? And let's just run through my calm process for a little bit. Can you control this? Yes, you can. Acknowledge that you're doing the best you can. You're always doing the best you can because you are doing whatever you've been told to do. You're following your patterns from day to day. So naturally, that inner critic inside of you is going to tell you how bad you are, how nobody will listen to your story, nobody cares about you, you're not important. Naturally, this is what you've been groomed to do. This is like you're going to do it because there's no other way you can do, right? Then L, you identify what doesn't work for you that you're now doing it. For example, you're now putting your story out. Is that helping you? No. So let's stop that, right? And then M, we're going to multiply something that works for you, which is you and your story and you being authentic, okay? So when we talk about there is a power in your story because you are authentic and you're the only one in the world. So you're the best in what you do, okay? So it's not like, well, other people do it better. No, the way you do it. The way you do it. And especially we need to address this. We are in the time of AI. And I say AI helped us to know us better. We became more human with the help of AI. Authenticity now, it's very popular. And it will be more popular as we speak because we're humans. And we will be inclined to listen to other humans. That's where your story, your experiences is very important. When I started coaching stress management, I didn't wake up one morning and said, you know what, I'm going to be a stress management coach. No, I got sick because I was stressed out. And then I learned so many things about how I can help myself that I was telling, other people that they love how they can help themselves too. And then somebody said, hey, you can be a coach. And this is where I was like, no, wait a minute, nobody wants to hear it. But my goal is to help someone. And if I can help one person, that already made not just my day, my month, a whole lifetime. So you need to really think about it and acknowledge that what you have is priceless. And you don't have to have all of your life experience being amazing. You just can have a story, something that will inspire the other person to be better. Because really, the person does a job themselves to get where they need to be. The same like I am right now teaching you, right? Maybe I'm inspiring you that you need to get your story out there. But if you're not going to get that story out there, I mean, I can talk whatever I want, but you're the one who's going to do that. So I want you now to think about that story that you have in your mind, that maybe something happened, that maybe something you lived through, that you want to share it to the world. All it is, you just need to inspire someone to look at their own life and make a move. And that's how the life and that's how the world changes. So your story is important because it's coming from you, from your authentic self, because there's nobody else like you. And when I started coaching, I had another coach come to me, and I had a lot of doubts. So I was like, I don't know, should I do this and all of this? And she told me, she said, your story and your service, it's like bringing a dish to a potluck party. You need to bring that dish because someone else will go hungry. It's not about you. It's about them. I want that to sink in. If you're holding yourself a story, now it's like, oh, nobody, no, listen, they need to hear it. And if nobody will want to hear your story and nobody will read your book and you will not even impact anything, you know what is number one thing that you will regret years from now? That you didn't write that book. That you didn't allow yourself to be outside there and share your message. And I could guarantee you that. Because now, whatever you are right now, I don't even know how old you are. But do you have any regrets? Have you thought about, oh, I wish I have done that 10 years ago? Well, guess what? This time is now. So this is the time for you to get your story out. Seriously. And again, if you need help, one-on-one consultation, book a session with me. Now, another one, there's so many stories. The second thing we need to talk about is defining your core transformation from struggle to strength. Somebody can be talking all book or all this story about how they were traveling the world, right? And this is great. You still can have a book like that. And then you can even teach a course about how to travel the world. You still can make impact in other people's lives. You can talk about conservancy. You can talk about culture. You can talk about food. Trust me, there's every story that we tell can be monetized. And it could be taught. And it could be shared. Because we're human beings that we learn from other people's experiences. And you know what's the difference between the monkeys and humans? I already give you an answer. Monkeys will be learning from their own experience. Humans learning from other people's experiences. Although it takes quite a few times that we need to do something and actually get it in our own bones and say, well, I'm going to do this again. But we do learn a lot. And especially right now, we have an internet. Well, I know it's been here for many years now. But are you using it? You can reach the whole entire world now. The whole world. And I am happy that pandemic happened. Yeah, I know. Well, not happy, but kind of happy the same way. Because it made people to learn how to use technology and united the whole world. So now you can be talking and teaching. And by the way, drop in the comments below and tell me, where are you watching this video from? And you can see that you can reach so many people. So even if you're living in a small town and you say, nobody knows me here or nobody will care about my story, guess what? Somebody on another side of the world may be very interested to hear what you have to teach. And again, remember, you just need to inspire someone to make a difference in their own life. That's how life and our whole world changes. So you need to find it. What is there that actually worth teaching? The third thing is releasing fear of visibility and the who am I to share this mindset. I think that's number one thing that's actually holding a lot of people behind. I learned one thing. When I started publishing my own books, like the first, it was about insurance because that was long, long, long time ago, and I thought it was very needed. And to tell you the truth, I'm still selling it. I'm like still getting royalties every month, although I wrote the book once. Yeah, that's another funny thing. When you write a book and you publish, money goes forever as long as you have it like on your bookshelf, like available to purchase. People will buy that. More than this, you can have it not only the hard copy book, but also have Kindle edition, right? Ebook, but also you can have an audiobook. And right now it's easier than ever. For example, on Amazon, you can just convert everything with help of AI into audiobook. You don't even need to spend thousands of dollars to actually make your book audio. So there's multiple versions of your story that can be shared all around the world. And I tell you this, when I start sharing my story about my stress management, I was very careful about what the people will think about me and the stories that actually had to do with my childhood. And I was very hesitant because I didn't want it to hurt people's feelings, what they will think about me, like the whole people pleasing thing. Yes, we've been taught to people please. Yes, I know, for the same reasons, survivalism. But then I realized one thing. When I started publishing my own books, I realized one thing, that nobody reading them. Those family members, those friends, and they don't care. They have other things to do. I think I realized, was it Jesus that said you cannot be a prophet in your own village? Yeah, for that reason. So if you're wondering now, who will read it? It will be read by people who see you as an authority. Those that don't know you. So if they don't know you, they really don't care really about what's the name was of your aunt or where you were living or whatever. They care about your transformation. What are you teaching them? You need to inspire them, right? That's about inspiration. That's how they can make difference in their own lives. And because you have a book, you're already an authority. Because as you know, not everybody can write a book. And here's the thing, you need to ask yourself now, do you have a story just for the article that can be, 3,000 words, or for a chapter of a book that also can be used for book collaboration? And if you're thinking, I don't think I can write the whole book, that's okay. I can help you with book collaborations that actually get paid before you even publish a book. I know, you heard that right. Book a session with me, I can tell you how. Or sign up for my whole mentorship. We can cut in pieces and work on it. But those people who will read your book, they already see you as an authority. And especially if you position yourself right on social media, on YouTube, or podcasting, on TV shows, and all of that. Of course, I will cover that in the next videos. But now we're talking about your story. Think about it. Do you have a story? Do you have an article? Or do you have a chapter? But tell you, I had many people that work with me, and we transformed that little chapter of theirs in the whole book that is monetizing now. You don't have to write just the whole book about your story. There are multiple levels that you need to teach something. You need to give advice. You need to have your memories there. You need to have something that people keep on reading, but also learning something. We don't have enough time in these days just to leisurely read a book. No, we need to learn something. There's so much of information out there that it has to be very concise and it needs to be useful. And it's not like blah, blah, something that you're just wasting your time. Somebody will be reading romance novels and they want to waste their time. And again, that's entertaining, that's good for them. But I'm talking about the nonfiction books that actually can monetize your story and make an impact in the world. Do you have that story? So then you need to decide what's your audience. Because that book, that story of yours that you will be sharing to the world, and you will be sharing whatever teaching that you share, it's not only for one group of people, like let's say women. And I know you heard many times that you need to have your avatar. You need to know who is your person. Yes, you need to work on that, because why? It will determine how you're going to present your story, especially when you're writing a book. You will need to know what the tone of the book is going to be. It's going to be like with humor, where you tell some jokes. Like, for example, I did for my stress management for adult children of alcoholics book, because I thought that was already very difficult theme to handle and chew on. So I wanted to be a little bit more joyful, because I think no matter what kind of traumas we went in our childhood, it still can be seen with a little bit of grain of sugar, let's put it that way. So you need to decide what's your tone. You need to decide what your audience is. Who are you shooting this book for? Are those going to be CEOs that are all stressed out, like in my case, or will you be talking to a caregiver? Are you will be talking to a teenager? It all depends. So you need to already decide your audience because you will need to have social media rolling at the same time while you're writing that book, while you're putting your project in all together. Yeah. When you write the book, this is not the time to shout to the world that you already have a book. No, you need to shout to the world that you have a book when you start writing the book. And that's what you need to decide on your story and what you're teaching and how you're going to monetize this right away, because later on it's too late. Then you need to know that clarifying your purpose, your emotional why behind your message. And that's you need to decide for yourself why you want to write a book, why you want to change the world, why you want to monetize this. Because listen, if you're just thinking this, I'm just going to write this book and make a lot of money, your book itself is not going to make money. I mean, yes, well, over time it will. That, of course, depends how much you spend money on it. Like I said, I spent only $350 to publish a book. I can teach you that. So yes, you'll make a profit very fast, depending on how many books you can sell. But you see, the way I see books is book is a big business card. When you put the book out, people see it as an authority. The way they see it is, if you can write a book, this means you have a lot to say. Because if you're not an authority, if you're not a specialist in something, if you don't know the whole subject throughout and cannot go deep down and talk for hours, then nobody's going to look at you. But if you have a book, that means you can talk about that for hours. So somebody will be listening to you. Somebody will want to be coached by you. Events will invite you. You can be a speaker. You can get paid for that. So decide what it is for. But number one thing, I know in my case, was that I wanted to help people to have better lives and be healthier and happier. And I didn't want to see so many people suffering because I saw myself in them and I've been through a lot, and I wanted that they will have the tools how they can help themselves too. I hope this video was helpful. Shoot me a message below and tell me, did you like it? If you see that there's something that can help you with all of this that I just talked about it, and you don't want to sign up for the whole mentorship program, that's okay. Like I said, you can do one-on-one coaching session with me and we can deep dive into specific things. Now, the next video that we'll be talking about, it will be the next letter is M in the impact, and it's map your message into the framework. I hope I see you there.